And our friends have joined us, Steven Jackson and Ryan Russillo, joining us to talk some NBA. And look, I come bearing gifts. You're welcome. ESPN the magazine.
Take one, pass one down.
There you go. Exactly. With the new teammates. And look, see how unselfish I am? I give all the boys a copy.
There you go.
You can get me one later.
Appreciate it.
Chris Paul and the Rockets will be in Oakland tonight taking on those Warriors. So let's get on the record as we begin the season, guys, because the Warriors are minus 240 favorite to win the NBA. Did I say it right, Ryan? Minus 240.
Yeah, minus 240. So
yeah,
it's overwhelming.
Yes, to say the least. So barring injury, which you could say that about any single team in the league, right? Give me one reason. Is there any reason to believe the Warriors are not going to win it again, third time in 4 years?
As long as the world don't win, I see them winning it. Like we all say, injury or the world doesn't end, they'll win it. I don't see anybody stopping these guys. They had a great preseason. They put up a lot of points in preseason. I see them picking up where they left off.
Yeah, the scary thing is you could argue their bench is even a little bit better. You could argue the continuity of these guys playing together another season, because in the beginning offensively last year, I think they were trying some things with Durant and Curry that weren't even really clicking, and yet they were still winning games. So I think it could be even worse, not from a record standpoint, I mean worse for the rest of the league, but once they get into the playoffs, it's just impossible to think. I mean, if you're forcing me, because I think you're going to be asking us this all season long, Cleveland's depth is a lot better. Bringing Isaiah Thomas in later provides them another score. They have more wings that they can throw at guys like Durant to defend them, so it's not all on LeBron. So I actually, when I look at Cleveland, the closer we get to this thing tonight, I love their depth, but it's just hard for any of us that watch Golden State and think they're going to be better, that anybody can beat them.
Let's go from contenders to MVP contenders. Russell Westbrook, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant combined to win the last 4 MVP awards. But Ryan, you feel it's nearly impossible for those guys to win another one. Why?
It's pretty easy, actually. When you think about how we vote for the MVP, usually we're judging not the player against the field, but the player against their peak performances. And that's why I think LeBron gets overlooked, even though he's still the best player in the league. But Russ put up such absurd numbers last season. That shouldn't happen again. You would hope if you're the Thunder it doesn't happen again because of the other pieces. So I don't know how he would win it. I think there's always going to be a little animosity towards Golden State. LeBron has to play a full season, even though he's still probably playing more games than we project. So that's why I think a guy like Kawhi, who the voters and so many of the stat guys love, has a better chance than any of the other players.
Me, if you see, look at my notes, I have it empty. I can't really say who's going to win MVP right now. It's hard to tell. With these teams so talented right now, so stacked. A guy that an unsung hero can win MVP this year.
What about a James Harden who finished second last year? And you know, that sticks in your craw when you know you're close, and maybe some people said he should have been the guy.
I disagree. I mean, with a season like Russ had, it's kind of impossible to put anybody before Russ. A triple-double hasn't been done in forever. You can't put anybody before Russ. But James was close, but he has to have another year like that to even.
His numbers are going to go down, though. It's a little bit like the Russ thing. And those numbers you would kind of hope do go down, and that there is more balance with a guy like Chris Paul. So that's the hard thing for Harden, because he'll be judged against just an insane year, but he was the only guy. So that's why he got those numbers.
I'd say keep an eye on Giannis on that list, but he plays in such a small market. I don't know how many people, casual fan, casual voter, get to see more than a handful of games of his.
Well, the real basketball fans know that he's dominant and he'll be in those talks. The real basketball fans are watching.
All right, yeah,
I know he's got injury issues, but where's Anthony Davis on that list?
If they're not a top 4, which it still feels like it's impossible. I mean, it's just hard. I mean, one of the Harden-Westbrook arguments you had last year was that Harden was on the better team, but the pro-Harden argument was ignoring the Kawhi argument. So if Anthony Davis, even if they're a 7th or 8th seed, I think that's really hard for the voters to buy into that in the West.
And it's harder for them now, too, with no Rondo being hurt. So it's going to be real hard for them starting off.
Well, they better get used to that. They may not go 80 games with Rondo.